I just said that. I just answered your question. Now, what else do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Dom?
The subjects that you invited me on to discuss, Piers.
I thought that included free speech.
No,
Say
Okay,
that.
Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about, not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview.
You sound very bitter, Dom.
Piers, I'm not enraged. I'm not enraged at all.
You got me, Piers.
Come on.
Come on, I don't know what you mean.
Come on, let's do something that's more productive than this.
Well, look,
Let's
you
be
know,
adults here. Do I object to what?
clickbaiting headlines.
Clinton Jaws. Don Lemon. I'm not a fan. He's on Piers Morgan. Piers rips him a new one. I loved it. Don's been around he's been on every corner, every street in the past 10 days, making a fool out of himself. Let's watch.
The thing that is so obvious about it, and I think is so disgusting, is that you don't really care. You don't really care about Charlie Kirk. What you care is that this is a moment that you can use for clicks.
Problem is, we do care.
Don, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you? Good to see you, Piers.
We were both
introduction, but it's great to see you.
We were both greatly lamented ex-CNN anchors. In fact, we shared an office. You took my old office. I feel like we've got a lot in history together. Your reaction to Charlie Kirk's murder has stirred up a lot of anger on people on the right, particularly the clip we just heard where you talk about them not really caring about what happened to him and just reacting for clicks, crying for clicks and so on. Do you not think that what you said there was insensitive?
No, I don't. I'm surprised because I was actually taking up for Charlie Kirk. I make up my mind and I decide on issues based on what I believe in and based on facts.
Do you agree?
But I don't believe in canceling people.
Right.
I think there's a lot of cancellation going on the right now, and I'm not comfortable with it.
Do you feel?
I wasn't comfortable with it on the left either.
Right. Do you feel you were a victim of cancel culture at CNN?
I probably. I don't think. I look at everything as an opportunity. Probably yes. I'm sure that I was a victim of cancel culture, but I would say mostly on the right for cancel culture.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what led to you leaving CNN. Let's take a look at the clip.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that.
When you watch that, Don, I happened to be watching that live, and I was like, "Whoa, what did you just say?" Do you? I mean, if you had a do-over, would you say that again? I mean, what led you to say
Okay,
that?
Piers, let me just say this. I'm going to answer your question, but just so the audience knows, and I hope you don't cut this out, when I asked you what subjects you wanted to talk about, you know what you said to me? You said, I want to talk to you about freedom of speech in America and the response to Charlie Kirk's death. Not once did you mention that we were going to talk about CNN or whatever. So, and had I known that, I probably wouldn't have accepted this interview. You have invited me on many times, and I tell you, Piers, I know you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels. And so when you said I'm not going to be involved in a panel, I agreed to come on your show. But I thought you would also stick by the subjects that you told me that you were going to talk about.
Just to be clear,
rather than try to ambush me with something.
Just to be clear,
So,
you and I haven't. Well, Don, just to be clear, you and I haven't had any conversation about your appearance here. You're talking about my team talking to you.
Yeah, no, and I saw you, Piers, in a restaurant, and I said, hey, Piers, good to see you. I would come on your show, but I don't do panels.
Right.
And I
not
said
on
the
a
same
panel.
thing to your bookers.
There's only one
and
of
so
you,
when
Don.
I asked you, right. Okay, and so, yes, and I said that's why I agreed to do it. But when you asked me, or when your team asked me what subjects, and I asked them 2 or 3 times, I have the text messages, what do you want to cover? Not once was CNN mentioned. So I don't appreciate being ambushed. But let me answer your question
Hang on one second. No, Don, hang on one second. Let's just be crystal clear about what's just happened. You brought up the subject of cancel culture. I asked you, did you feel your departure from CNN was an example of that? And you answered the question. And I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And I answered the question.
Perfectly reasonable in that if you'd said to me, I don't want to talk about it, fine. No, but hang on, no, so sorry. You said what you're going to say. By the way, we don't.
Disingenuous.
Don, we don't edit.
I don't like arguing like this. I'm not going to get into an argument with you. Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous. And I think anyone watching this
What are you talking about?
And so if you will let me, if you will allow me, please
What are
please
you
stop
talking
interrupting
about?
me, okay? Did you invite me here to interrupt me, or are you going to let me
I think you're
answer
being
the
a
question?
complete dick, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's very kind and respectful of you.
It wasn't intended to be kind or
I don't like the
respectful.
ad hominem attacks. I could respond in kind.
You can
but
say
I
what you
won't
like about me. I don't
think
care.
that I think that I'm above that. I'm not going to do that, Piers. That's not who I am.
I don't understand why
ad
you're
hominem
playing the
attacks.
victim card when you yourself mentioned cancel culture.
Because Piers. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
What are you going to
Here
do?
we
Read
go.
out my
If you
team's
want me to do
messages
this,
to you?
Piers, it should be embarrassing. Yeah, I can read out the team messages to you because I just think it's completely unfair, and you know that. I'm prepared to answer your question, and then I'm going to move on. I told you I'm prepared to talk about Charlie Kirk's death, the response to it, and cancel culture, and and freedom of the press.
So
and freedom of speech.
You
I'm
were prepared to talk about
that.
cancel culture, or you weren't?
No. I'm not prepared
you're not prepared to talk about
cancel culture. But that has, oh my God, Piers, could you stop interrupting me?
Not really. You're kind of exhausting me. It's ridiculous. Why would you react this way to a perfectly normal? Obviously, if you mention cancel culture, obviously it's rational and logical that I would ask you whether you felt what happened to you at CNN was that. I play the clip and then you throw a hissy fit.
I've given you a moment, enough. I've given you your moment.
I don't want a moment.
This is going to go viral, so
I don't want a moment,
yes, you do.
Don.
Otherwise, you wouldn't do this. Otherwise, you would be a respectful journalist and host, and you would let me.
He does not want this going viral.
And
I don't think I'll take lectures on being a respectful journalist
because
from
you want a
Don.
moment. Oh my gosh, Piers.
I won't.
I can't even hear because there's a delay, and you keep talking. And what do you want me to do? Like rip the earpiece out in the mic and run off so you have a moment?
No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever you
answer
like.
the question? Are you just going to keep? Are you just going to keep pillaring me with questions?
Then I would have an easy title.
I don't know why you've gone on this weird rant.
I
don't understand any of it. Why have you done this weird reaction? I simply asked you about whether you felt your departure from CNN was, in your eyes, an example of cancel culture. I played the clip,
Piers,
and
you're
I then
embarrassing yourself,
I then said,
and I tried
when you
to-
watch it back, do you
Piers,
really understand what you were saying?
This is why I don't do this. But you're embarrassing yourself, Piers.
No,
Actually, you might be embarrassing
And
yourself,
you are-
Don.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Don't do this to me, Piers.
Yeah, you might be. Have you thought of that?
Okay.
You're a journalist. You don't want to talk about a story, a massive story that involved you?
Oh, he wants to leave so bad.
Piers, can we move on? You can let me answer the question, and then we can talk about the things that you invited me on to
Why
talk
didn't you just
about.
answer the question to start with?
And we've gotten so far away from what you wanted me to answer that we're off into La La Land. So let me say something about that. The clip that you played had nothing to do with me leaving CNN, okay? And unless you know something that I don't know about me leaving CNN, then you should tell me about it. It had nothing to do. I worked there for months after that, so that had nothing to do with it. And so, and I forget the other thing that you were asking me about in that clip. But
I asked you when you watched the clip
let's
back,
move on.
if you could explain what was going through your mind, that's all.
Thank you. I think the key phrases in that clip, if you want to be honest, and I want you to listen to it, is that I'm not saying that I believe that. That's not according to me. What I was speaking for there is how society treats women. And someone like Nikki Haley should know if women have been discriminated against for centuries. She should be more careful than to say something that discriminates against older people. That's it. That is not the reason that I was let go from CNN. And so, again, unless you know something,
You believed it.
then go ahead.
Well,
and tell
as
me,
you
but
know, it
that's
was
not-
widely reported that was. So
that's not what I know.
So what was the reason?
Don't believe everything you read.
What was the reason?
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Oh, so it might be the reason.
No.
But it all happened after that incident. You know that.
Yeah. Well, Piers, everything happens after something. I don't understand what your point is.
Well, the point
Well,
is,
my point is-
you just said that wasn't the reason why you got fired, and I haven't seen this.
I think it's quite newsworthy if you say it had nothing to do with that. then it'll raise the obvious question.
I don't think it's newsworthy, Piers. That was 3 years ago.
It's fun to talk about.
Right.
That's three. It's not newsworthy. That news means something that's new. This isn't new.
Right.
That was 3 years ago. That's
Okay,
been
but it's
all
the first-
litigated.
it's
If
the
you want to
first
find
time-
out about it, you are free to be able to read the interviews that I read. You are free to read the statement that
I love this.
perhaps your folks should pull up the statement when I left CNN, and that can explain to you what happened. So this is
you're
nothing
sitting in
new.
front of
It's
You
all
just told me
water
you've
under
no
the bridge.
idea why you
I
were
have
let
moved
go.
on. I'm doing something completely different, and so that's that.
Right, but you just said you've no idea why they got rid of you.
What statement?
I did.
So how do you know it wasn't to do with the clip we just played?
I just said that. I just answered your question. Now, what else do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about, Dom?
The subjects that you invited me on to discuss, Piers.
I thought that included free speech and everything
And
around that.
I know you're loving this viral moment. I just think that
I
you're
don't think
embarrassing yourself in
you
this
understand
moment, but
what me
go
at
on.
all. I've got nothing against you at all. Never have had. I was perfectly.
Piers, you think I don't understand you? Piers, I worked with you for years. I know more about you probably than most people who are watching this program and a lot of the people who are working with
Right.
you.
Why would I-
worked with your staff. I inherited your staff at CNN. I know way more about you than I would care to know. I know way more about how you do business
Threats.
and how you approach journalism than I care to know. I have not been on anyone else's show. I don't
cut
want to be
something
on
out.
anybody's show. I don't want to do panel shows. I don't
was
want
cut.
to argue with people about things that are inconsequential. What we should be talking about right now is how to keep what happened to Charlie Kirk from happening to anybody else. That's where the conversation should be. But instead, you're trying to get a moment. You're trying to make some news out of something. But go ahead. Have your fun. But we should be discussing something that is productive to the American people instead of you going into the garbage and trying to
Satisfying.
find something that will, give you a moment or that you will, get a click out of it or more viewers for your program.
You sound very bitter, Dom.
Piers, are you kidding me?
No.
Bitter. I'm the happiest go lucky person ever. I'm just exposing your hypocrisy and how you lied to me about what you wanted to discuss.
I've never
That's
talked
it.
to you about this interview at all.
You don't have conversations with your producers? So your producers lied to me, or you don't?
No.
You're not that
You've
involved
admitted,
in.
you've
maybe
admitted
you're not
one
that-
of the subjects
you're
we
not
wanted to
that
talk to you
involved-
about.
You're not that
We
involved
wanted to
in the
talk to you.
editorial process of your
We
own
wanted to
show,
talk to you.
where they don't convey to you
By your own admission.
what you are.
You know what, Don?
That the guest
You know what, Don?
is going. What the guest is going to talk about.
You know what, Don?
on the
You
program?
obviously expected
Are you
some-
not that involved in the editorial process of your own show that you
you've
don't know that. Piers?
already admitted that one of the subjects was free speech, and yet here you are getting enraged about me exercising my right to free speech to ask you a few questions.
Piers, I'm not enraged. I'm not enraged at all. I'm glad you got this moment. This is a moment for me as well that's going to play out on social media. It's going to be good for me too. So go for it.
I don't know.
What moment do you think we've got?
That he got you. You got me, Piers.
Come on.
Come on, I don't know what you mean.
Come on. Let's do something that's more productive than this.
Well, look,
Let's
you
be
know,
adults here, Piers. Come on.
honestly, when you do this, when you say that I'm into journalism, and you do this, or like it's not journalism, you've taken a big high moral ground
Piers,
about.
you-
Hang on. I'll ask you a question. Okay. And finally, Don, we started this, just to be fair. You said you don't like the way that the MAGA crowd have reacted to Charlie Kirk because they're doing it just for clicks and stuff about somebody's death.
Yeah.
And yet,
Some of them. I said some of them.
Okay.
I said some of them, not all of them.
Which ones in particular are you thinking of?
Well, if you go back and watch the Don Lemon show on YouTube, or if you watch Don Lemon on social media, you will find I mentioned certain people, and you can find it there.
So you object to clickbaity headlines about people and death?
Do I object to what?
Clickbaiting headlines about people and death.
Not necessarily. I think that's part of our culture. I think it's part of our culture, and I think it's
Is it something you ever do?
byproduct of it is a byproduct, please, of our siloed media, and I think people perhaps sometimes do it to get attention, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. But sometimes people do it to break through, whether that's right or wrong. It's just simply what it is. That's
Sure,
a matter
but
of fact.
do you ever do it?
I don't think I do it to any more so than anyone else. I don't think I do it any more so than the Piers Morgan show or any other show that is based on YouTube.
I'm only curious because 2 weeks ago, you had a headline.
You have to do something
Well, 2 weeks ago,
I'm not done talking yet, Piers. I'm not done talking yet, Piers. I didn't finish my statement. I say sometimes you have to do things to get people's attention so that they can click on something and to see if it is important or not, and they can make up their own decision about if they want to continue on with the content.
Got it.
Or not.
No, I got it. That's the whole point of clickbait. Yeah. You had a headline 2 weeks ago. Hot takes. Could Donald Trump be dying?
Yeah, a lot of folks did. I think you probably did a show on that as well.
No, I didn't.
And because people were asking, if you look at even in some of the mainstream media, people were asking. Donald Trump's administration was not transparent about how sick he was during COVID, and so what leads people to believe that Donald Trump's administration is going to be transparent about what's happening with him now? Right,
You know what,
especially
Don?
Americans to
He
know
wasn't
the
dying.
health of their president.
He wasn't dying. You knew he wasn't dying. He's obviously not dying, and you were doing it for clickbait, which is the very thing
I
you
didn't say
accused
he was dying.
everybody
I said,
else of
could
doing.
Donald Trump be dying because people are asking if he's dying? That's
Got it. Got it.
I don't see that there's anything wrong with that.
Nope. Don Lemon, thank you very much.
Do
indeed.
you?
Yeah, we've run out of time, Don. You know what it's like in the news business.
Oh, that was so good. I did not expect that. I just turned it on. I thought I'd record it because I'm doing something else right now, and I don't know which one to put up now. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.